You've had obstacles in your life. Name one.
Yes.
And how did you get over it?
I I had the biggest obstacle that I remember is I wanted to do something, and my older brother that I thought knew everything, he was 8 years older than me, and he taught me how to doing that. And I have had many years or many moments forgiving myself for allowing him to influence what I did.
So how did you get through the fact that he influenced you? How did you get over that? That's quite an obstacle.
Well, I I just have to forgive myself and go on, because then I I went on and, like I said, got married and had children and went through nurses training and became a nurse, which I've always, you know, helped people, loved helping people. And my grandmother was a midwife down in Arkansas, and she'd go out and help all the sick people and have babies and so forth, all during the day and night. So I guess I've just picked it up somewhere. But I that's what I did, and I nursed for quite a few years, and plus done a few other things after that.
That is really something. So what was it that your brother advised that you regretted, if you don't mind sharing it?
I wanted to go into the military. He had already been into the military, or he was in the military at this time. And he had came home on a leave, and he says, "Nope, Mary, you don't want to go in there. You won't do." He said, they'll just down you, and just really played it down for me going into the military. And then a friend of mine that was a classmate, well, she wasn't a classmate, but she was in the same school that I was. She went in the military. She got her nurse's degree, and went on and retired from the military. But now I let him his words. And then another thing that along with this, when I was in a senior, or I'm junior in high school, you go to a counselor and they say, "Well, what are you planning on doing?" And I said, "Well, I really don't know yet. I don't know if I want to go on to school, or what I want." He says, "Oh, we don't need to worry about you going on to college or anything. You're just going to get married and have babies." So, you know, that's that's some of the school things that we have to deal with too. So I tried, I worked as a nurse's aide before, when I was 17 and a half. And then, like I said, I met my husband later on and got married around 19 and had kids, and went to nursing school after I got married and had a child.
Wow.
And so, yeah, but I love adventure. I love doing things. And after that, you know, I went into doing taxes and had my own H&R Block office, and just different things like that. And I worked as a security guard in the Bisco plant, and worked in the cheese factory, and worked in Motorola. And I, you know, I just, I love, like I said, I love adventure. And I tried to get into the reserves when I was so far. Well, I had to find somebody that would take my children for, 6 to 9 months. Well, no one wanted to take my children. So, here we are. And I'm enjoying life. I do enjoy life.
So maybe what seemed like an obstacle, I mean, yes, granted, maybe you would have liked the military. I'm hearing that you're really satisfied. You chose a different route, and it's really brought you a lot of satisfaction, is what I'm hearing. I mean, it sounds like you've
Yes.
had quite a full life thus far, and you still are. For those of you who don't know, Mary lives in an RV and travels all over the country and even out of the country. Is that right?
Yes,
Isn't that
yes,
amazing?
yes, yes. And yeah, and my husband's were all in the military also. So there you go.
Interesting. So in a way, I'm hearing there's something about a forgiveness there, and I don't know what it is, but maybe it's more of the active forgiveness, because here you are, somehow or another, you hooking up with a military guy, something you wanted to be in the military. I don't know, I'm just thinking that there's something about that, something about forgiveness and how you went on and are having a very happy life. And I know you have some children and grandchildren, I believe, too, if I
And
understand.
great grandchildren.
Great grandchildren. How
Right,
wonderful.
right.
Well, what would you, not that, if you would ever consider collaborating, because nowadays a lot of women want to collaborate and join forces, being that we're the village, not just on our own anymore. What are the characteristics of someone you would be willing to collaborate with?
It's funny you mentioned that or asked that, because my vision, I've had this vision for a long time, because as we grow older, I feel like we need people that care around us, that can help take care of us. And I envision this community where it was started out with a house and you had little spokes off of it, and everybody could have their own little private bedroom and living room where they could go and get away from the group, but also have a group area for group to come out and sit there and talk and have discussions and so forth. Because I I know a lot of people right now that, well, just like one of my friends that lives down in Branson, he had a spot on his back. Well, he can't see his back. There's nobody that can really see their back really good, or you know, and uh, he felt this, it was hurting, so he went to the doctor. Well, he had this big, sort of like a carbuncle or boil that it comes up on the back, and he has to have that dressing changed every day. Well, he has to drive 45 miles to his daughter's house to have it changed, because he doesn't live in a community that has someone that, oh, well, I could do that, you know. And everybody I have mentioned that to, the people that with the Retired Officers Association that I belong to, and the other associations that I belong to, they said, Mary, that sounds good. But I don't have, I have never found anyone that wanted to back anything like that.
What are the characteristics of someone who you would like to collaborate on that project with? What would the person need to have?
A good outlook on life. Someone that's not negative. Always, knows that this is the way it is, knows that they can express what they really feel. Well, because if I was asking you, Jody, uh, Jody, what would you like special today to eat? And I would fix that, or, oh, this food's always, bleh, I don't ever get a good meal here. No, you've got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with me. And that people that enjoyed life, enjoyed just go out and looking at the trees grow. Uh, just someone very interesting to be around.
So if I'm understanding right, are these are people that you would want to actually have the business with, or the people you would want to admit into the house?
Both,
Both.
both. Because if someone didn't have not 90% of the same values and vision, because I like to do brainstorming. I like to sit down and do brainstorming, to see where people are and how we can do it and what would be the best. And sort of like what you and I were talking, to come to a general consensus rather than just being out here just, oh, well, this is, So yeah, someone like you, someone that's open-minded,
Thank
you know,
Thank
you
you
know,
very much. I'm very
yeah.
very honored
Yeah.
indeed. Well, thank you. Well, do you have a favorite quote that you like, or something that gives you hope and keeps you going that you'd
Yes.
like to share?
Life is my favorite adventure.
Who wrote that?
I don't know. It's on a cup that I was given,
Life,
and I love it
life is my favorite adventure. How come?
because it is. I when I realized when I was hit by a truck in 2005 that I only have this moment to have adventure, and that's all anyone has is one moment that they know that they're going to enjoy. They know that's the only thing that we have that we can honestly know that we've got to enjoy just this moment. Yes, we can have dreams and things like that, but as far as enjoying those dreams, we can just enjoy them in our mind because you know you can fall over dead in the next second.
Also, you said you were not only hit by a truck, you were severely injured by that truck, if I understand right. Did you barely survive? Am I understanding right?
Well, I as far as mentally, I didn't have any physical injuries outside except for my face was just scar, a little bit, but I had head injury, and it was my brain that got scrambled. And yet, I at one time I told God, I said, God, if I don't get any better, because I was emailing people couldn't read nothing that I couldn't even type, couldn't spell, couldn't do nothing. I just could get on there and think that I was working. And they told me, says Mary says, we are so happy that you are really have gotten so much better. And this was about a year and a half after that. Says at least you can spell a little bit now and use the computer better.
I
So
think, though, that this really brings home a point because a lot of people I deal with sometimes wonder, they look at life more as a big ordeal. And the reason why I asked you more details about that is that this doesn't happen to all of us. And to know that you have lost what all of us take for granted, being able to write, being able to do our quote unquote normal activities, and yet you have arisen to the point where you just kept on. And that to me is so inspiring because you're somebody who really speaks from a terrible, terrible crisis and tragedy. And you've grown from that. And not only that, you pass on this. That's why you are somebody who loves every minute.
yes,
And
yes,
that is inspiring,
good,
very
good, because
inspiring.
that's what I I even tell children, you know, you don't, you know, you don't have to be angry, you don't have to be upset or whatever. You just enjoy the moment. Go out and look at a leaf, or go out and look at a worm, go out and look at a butterfly, and just appreciate where you are, that you're able to do that this moment. Because, you know, that's, like I said, that's all we do have. We all do have just for this moment that we are guaranteed.
And you're a great reminder for all of us because I think that sometimes it's easy to assume that we're going to be able to breathe, assume that
Yes.
we're going to be able to walk. And actually, I had an experience many years ago where I could not walk. I had a severe, acute neurological attack, kind of Bar Epstein, but not quite. And I literally could not walk on one leg. And I never in my entire life had anything like that. So when I do my gratitude list, as I know you express gratitude and I do, we're both big believers in that. Um, I say, you know, thank God I can walk.
Yes.
I can walk and I can get up, and nobody would ever even see I do have permanent damage, but nobody would know. Just me and a doctor.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And see, I started appreciating my whole body back several years ago because I was a dowser. I don't know if you've ever know what a dowser is. They used to witch for water, but anyway, they went through. We started with our toes and went all the way up our body and appreciate everything, every movement. You know, because it's not everybody can do that.
You're
With
right.
the and you know, and so I have really been on this journey a long time on appreciating every moment.
What does dowsing have to do with that? I'm missing something.
Dowsing is where you can find out things like where's water, or
Right.
how many pills you have to take, and how many where you need to turn. Or I this one lady, she she never had a GPS. She just went by dowsing. Well, where is the best restaurant? You know, a motel or whatever. Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. It got it enhanced the journey of me going out and being who I am,
I
appreciating,
understand. Yeah,
appre-
because
yeah, appreciating and enjoying life.
I'm thinking of the dowsing, like I have something that's on a chain and it's like a
Yeah,
gem, and then you kind of swing it.
yeah,
And okay, that's what I'm thinking of, you know, like as
yeah.
the dowsing. Okay, gotcha. And it really is very interesting when you do it consistently.
Yes, yes,
Isn't consistency? That's a funny word, huh? Consistent.
yes,
That's sometimes it's a four-letter word for me.
yeah. Well, that's why I say life is is my favorite adventure, because it is. It is.
Mary, thank you so much. Our time, unfortunately, has zipped by.
Wow.
I only hope that you continue making everyone's life an adventure, because just by what you're doing is living that wonderful quote. And thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you. I appreciate you, hon.
So great.
Thank you very much.